Hey, turn me up. I hate my life. I beat my wife. It's just a strife. I fly a kite. I'm Magic Mike. I got some bars. Straight to Mars. That's where you're going. This vape I'm blowing. Welcome back to another 8 and Chew absolute classic. Today we're looking a bit existential, so that's what today's topic is on. I think this is the meaning of life, right? I think I found it. And when I say it, you're gonna think that's kind of self-explanatory, right? Let me just say it. The meaning of life is to reproduce, to build. Regardless of my age, that is the inherent goal, whether I decide it is or not, right? It's the biological desire, right? It's rooted deep in all of us to reproduce, right? Especially as a man, right? When you have high testosterone and the libido is high, right? You know, when you're in good health, right? When you're optimal health, right? Optimal meaning how things should be, right? When your health is how it should be, your desires and your the reason for your existence is deeply rooted in building and reproduction, you know, in having children and, you know, taking care of them, right? I think that's irrefutable that that's the case, right? You know, a lot of people will disagree with me, but that really shows, you know, who is in good health and who is not, right? Because if you're in good health, your hormones are good, and hormones are the indicators, right, for your desires, right? If you're a female and your hormones are good, you know, you're gonna be wanting a masculine, high testosterone man. You know, it's just the pheromones. It's just the natural. It's just how it is, right? I'm gonna be honest, right? At the moment, you know, me filling these desires or filling this quota or this desire to build and reproduce is not very viable at the moment, right? Due to a host of different factors. Just like any other man, you know, that can't do what he wants to do, right? Has a problem in front of him, has a barricade. A high test man loves a good challenge. A high test man, when they see a challenge, they're gonna take it up, right? It is just the nature of it. Let's just say, in a primitive sense, there's a lion that's gonna eat your tribe. The challenge is the lion, right? He's gonna eat your tribe. The high test man is like, I'm ready to fight this lion. I'm ready to tackle this problem. And that's what we have here, right? When you're in good health, you're able to look at a problem clearly, separate from your emotions. If your hormones are optimal, you're not being emotional about things. You see things clearly as it should be seen, and you find what must be done and what must be done to solve that problem, right? So in this case of not being able to reproduce, not being able to build, you know, which is the inherent need and desire of a man, right? I can now see clearly what needs to be done, right? What facets of my life do I need to improve? I wrote down a list of things that I feel like will help me achieve what my biological desire of wanting to build. Here I have 4 factors: social, financial, physical, and mental. I think that's quite a good list of things. So with social, we have a good friend group, you know, people who are productive, people who are able to push you to have a positive net impact on your life and pushing you to grow every day. Have a good wider community. Good community is very important in meeting new people, not just your own friends, right? Meeting potential mates. I'm talking about like primitive sense, right? It fills the social needs outside of just having a friend group. In the other case of social, right, you have a significant other, they need to be attractive. You need to have a significant, or you desire a significant other. You need to be attractive, feminine, have healthy habits as well. Like my friends, that's the goal in the end. Financial. This is a very important one. I wrote here £200,000 a year, which is a lot of money, right? But even 100K is a lot of money. If you want to be the top G, the 1% man, 200K a year is about where it's at, right? And if I want to have a couple kids, $200,000 a year is not enough. So I need to be aiming higher. I think $200,000 a year is a good start. And you're probably, if you're a bit older than me, you're probably thinking, this guy is delusional, right? It's not as easy as saying, I'll just make 200,000. Of course, I don't really understand that concept. The scale of linear progression of, it's not linear, but progression of increased income, right? I don't understand that, but that's the goal, right? I'm meant to find that out myself. I'm meant to see that, it's a bit harder than it is, right? Because I don't have much life experience at the moment. The next factor is physical, right? I want to be 90 kilograms lean. That's the end goal. Currently, maybe like 82 kilograms lean. So if we do quick maths, if I'm 82 kilograms lean, I have to get 8 kilograms of muscle, which is 17 pounds of muscle, 17.6 pounds of muscle. And I think that's attainable throughout the next, I'd say the next 6 years, right? 5-6 years of just consistent training, nutrition, and sleep. And, I think health is a very important factor. If you're physically fit, that's one less thing you have to worry about, right? Like you could have $100 million in the bank, but if your health is not good, like what's the point of having all that money? You could have everything in the world. You have family, car, blah, 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 everything. But if you're not in good health, how are you going to enjoy the fruits of your labor if you're dead, right? Also, when you're in pristine health, your mind is clear. Take this from me, okay, who used to be a guy who used to abuse alcohol. And I don't throw around the word abuse lightly, right? I used to abuse like drinking, vaping, smoking, and even some other substances, right? If I'm being honest, because everyone was a kid once at one point, and you have to, as bad as it sounds, you have to try it to know it's not for you. You have to hit the rock bottom of your life to know it's not for you, right? So if you're in good physical health, you're going to be making good decisions on other factors such as social, financial. The next factor is mental. I believe mental health is good. Learning to have the right mindset is good. The right mindset on life, right? That when you're a 20-year-old male who just goes out and parties every day and has nothing going for him, you're worthless. You're a bum. But if you're a woman who's 20-year-old, who has nothing going for them, who just parties and drinks, you have the world at the tip of at the palm of your hands, right? If you're a pretty girl, you can be on a yacht like this next week. Okay, you can be on a yacht like this tomorrow if you're a pretty girl, right? But you have nothing going for you. But if the same were the case for the man, like the same characteristics, you'd just be a bum. Right, that's the unfortunate reality you have to realize. So, you have to build yourself up in these 4 facets, and it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, right? That's why the kind of peak attractiveness of a male only begins like after 30, or like at 30. A 20-year-old man is not attractive. Maybe to like a 18-year-old girl, yeah, sure. But a 20-year-old man is not attractive, right? And for a woman, it would be like 20 to 25, around that age. And I think this is because, well, I mean, women like older men, typically the case, because older men can provide. You know, they've spent those years building themselves up in the four facets that I mentioned, you know, and other facets that I didn't mention. And, you know, things like this take time. Like building a good physique, that alone will take me 6 years on itself, right? Reaching to 200k income, I'm not. It's hard. It's hard. Progressing in those facets take years and years of consistent work. That's why it's important for a young man to realize that, to realize he's absolutely worthless at this age if he does nothing, right? If he's not progressing anywhere. And that's the unfortunate reality that most people have to wake up to. But there is hope. There is hope. And you just have to be patient. And, you know, it's very important to realize that to reproduce, to build, right? There's a biological need for it, right? But once that is met, let's just say, once that need is met, your motivation to improve in those facets decreases. And you just become complacent, and it's not good to be complacent. That's why you should never, ever, ever, ever indulge in that kind of stuff, right? If you feel bad, there's a reason why you feel bad, okay? It is your actions that have led you to you feeling bad. It's okay to be weak. It's not okay to stay weak, okay? It's okay to be down, but it's not okay to stay down. Okay, now you gotta come up. You know, someone calls you fat, you know, you're gonna get offended, but you might just be fat. If someone calls you freaking dumb, okay, maybe you'll cry, but like, you might just be dumb, okay? So you gotta disassociate that, you know? There's a reason why you feel bad. At least you realize it, right? And you should know what must be done to achieve what you want to achieve. That is the meaning of life. I think I've outlined it as clearly as possible to my current understanding as a 20-year-old. It's a simple concept, but it's hard to achieve. Does that make sense? Yeah. This is from the point of view of a man. You know, maybe the meaning of life for a woman is different. I'm not sure. It probably is due to hormone differences, right? And effects on neurochemistry and neurobiology and just neuroscience in general. But, you know, as a man, I think I've understood what must be done, what must need to be done, right? You know? And like for the factors that I mentioned, every day of your existence must be at least going to some form of improvement in those factors. If you spend a day, even a day, just wasted, that's a day you'll never get back. Time is not something you can ever get back. You spent those 5 hours on Instagram doing nothing. In a year's time, you're going to be like, damn, those 5 hours that I spent on Instagram had no addition to my life. Whereas at least if you spend like an hour in the gym, 2 hours studying, 20 minutes meditating, 20 minutes talking to friends, you know, it has some form of compounding nature, in the sense that it'll be tangible. It'll have a tangible result. You go to the gym every day for an hour, you'll have a tangible result in a year's time, or, you know, down the line, right? Something like gaming has no tangible result. I put in like 6,000 hours into, like maybe a collective 9,000 hours actually into gaming. And, you know, if you looked at me today, you wouldn't be able to tell like he gained for 9,000 hours. That is something I'll never get back. Whereas, you know, if you're in the gym every day, you're grinding and hustling, just by looking at me, you can tell that, I put in a little bit of work to get where I am today. There's a tangible thing, right? I have no tangible skills that I learned from those 9,000 hours. And those are 9,000 hours I will never get back. Think about the things you do every day. Are they compounding to a greater purpose? Are they compounding to the 4 factors that I mentioned? And ultimately, are they compounding to what you want in life? Because I've outlined what I want, and what I think everyone else wants inherently, but they don't realize it because they're in poor health. But you have to find what you want. If you want to be a astronaut, is your existence every day focused on becoming an astronaut? Right? Are you studying physics and all the different facets that required to be an astronaut? I don't know what is needed to be an astronaut, but I'm just saying, I see a lot of people say, oh, I want this, I want that, but then they're not actively trying to go achieve what they want, that thing that they said they wanted, right? So clearly they don't want it enough. They're not as rational as they make themselves out to be. This is something I studied in economics. People are short-sighted in the sense that you can only really see maybe the next hour, next 30 minutes, the next 5 minutes in terms of benefit. So this is why there's many things such as drug addiction, alcohol abuse, because you can only see, if I hit this vape right now, if I drink this alcohol, if I take these drugs, I'll feel good for the next hour, right? I'll feel good now. That stuff is compounding. Everything is compounding. That stuff compounds and has a negative result in the future. But we as short-sighted humans cannot see that it has a compounding negative effect, right? I cannot, as a human, cannot gauge, in the future. Like, I know there'll be the downsides. I know there'll be the health implications, but me physically, I cannot chronologically put into scale what the effects are down the line, right? I know, okay, if I smoke, there'll be lung cancer, potential lung cancer, respiratory issues, and blah, blah, blah. But I can't really, my little puny, poor computational, short-sighted brain as a human cannot physically, mentally process that. And that's why there's addictions and there's procrastination and whatnot. But yeah, that's enough of that rant. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a longer one, a bit of a deeper one. That's my view on life, and I think that's quite a good view on life. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me your views on life. Maybe it differs from mine. It definitely probably could differ from mine. Not everyone thinks like me, and I'm not saying, oh, I'm built different. I'm just saying, everyone has different viewpoints on life. But hopefully, in a couple years' time, I can look back on this video and say I've made progress towards some of these goals that I mentioned. So, maybe I'll check in. Maybe you'll see me in 10 years. And maybe I'll have achieved this. Who knows? Who knows? All right, see you guys in the next one. Stay healthy and stay safe and stay alive. Okay? Because life is precious. Life, you only have one life. God gave you one life. So why not get what the hell you want? Okay? Why not achieve what the hell you want? Okay? You only have one freaking life. Okay? See you guys in the next one. Peace.